All right, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Smudcast 550, The Hero's Journey as Bull, Part 2. This is our continuation from yesterday about Maggie Mae Fish's video on Joseph Campbell's The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And, it's like watching Wit and Folly if Maggie Mae Fish took the reins, and you can expect that it's going to be a mess. And this is what we get. It's a bunch of headcanoning, invented straw men, and just her own nonsense, which is...
And she's completely incapable of comprehending what Campbell is even talking about.
I'm not even sure if she actually can read the book, or if she did read bits and pieces, if she understood it, because if she did, then she would show it. She'd say, I read this, and this is dumb, and I'm disagreeing, and this is why. But she never did that. She did not.
One of her complaints was that not every character in the story goes through a hero's journey. Like the supporting characters, the NPCs. What?
Well, technically, they would be part of the hero's journey, not their hero's journey, because it's not about them.
Yeah, but that was her complaint.
Yeah, I know. It's like, honey, supporting characters. You know what those are? Tertiary characters? No idea? No?
Yeah. And those characters may have their hero's journey in their lives somewhere, but not right now.
Right. And sometimes you can acquire characters that become secondary characters and they're part of the journey, or those secondary characters have their own story that is a minor arc. We call those arcs because they have development of some case or in some kind that is not as easy to define. But if they're along for the ride, helping or hindering the protagonist, that's usually a sign that they're part of an arc or part of a journey of some kind. So
I think this is a little bit the thing I mentioned once. It's playing into this, where I noticed that ideologues like her don't understand the concept of linear time. And sure. I think this shows itself somewhat in her thinking that every character needs to go through the hero's journey during the hero's journey.
It could be a attack on structuralism. It could be a look at patterns that she just doesn't agree with for the sake of disagreeing. And it's like, well, okay, humans might not have any patterns, but he has looked at stories that do have these patterns, and if you don't agree with them, that's fine. Just explain why and how that doesn't work for you, and that's a totally fair thing to do. But she's not doing that. All she's doing is bringing up shit like heterosexuality or white males think a certain way because they're Christian or they were born in a certain way. It's like, that's not what he's saying. That has nothing to do with what he's talking about. And all she's doing is referencing his biography, I think, another book. And
her biography.
Yeah, and how he thinks about some of his female students at one of his jobs. And you're like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? So, a little sad.
It really does just boil down to she's really angry that a white man's made this book.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else to it. It's like
a lot of it sounds like jealousy.
It
probably is.
The anger in her voice. It's like, no, I want to have a hero's journey. Mickey, you wouldn't survive the first step.
Considering her previous video, I think she's running out of content to make, and she's just hopping on anything she could find. So she just found the most generic thing, which is
But also look about what she's talking about. But it's almost like she's gone, I'm going to use the hero's journey to like be a platform for me talking about Roe versus Wade,
right,
women's rights and stuff. And you're a bit like, why don't you just make those videos, Maggie? Why just stop pretending?
It was weird because in this video she had like 3-second clips from random things. Like one of them was the Fountainhead movie from
Birth of the Nation.
Yeah, from like 1949, the same year the book came out. And you're like, what does that have anything to do with the book? Like, you just don't like Ayn Rand? Is that it? Okay, fair, but what does that have to do with the video you're doing right now? So it's like she's a woman and she has all these interconnected ideas and she has to like put them on the screen, and we're like sitting there going, honey, where are you going? What is this?
Well, just calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a very good answer to most women. Just please calm down. Please. Whatever you're talking
Are you
about.
saying they're all hysterical?
No, I'm not saying they're all hysterical. I mean, they just need to relax once in a while.
I'm
Because they're
saying they're all
hysterical.
hysterical. No, I'm saying they're all hysterical. You can put that on my gravestone. Women are hysterical. Sarcastic Hawk 2022 or something. I'm going to stick by that.
Hawk, your gravestone is so full of quotes. It'll be hard to know when you were born and when you died.
Whisp, just make sure it's at least 16 foot high. I don't care anything else about that.
All right. Well, are you guys
English
ready?
feet or German feet?
Oh, God.
I'll be in the superior feet, which is English.
All right. Well, we're halfway starting from yesterday. You guys all in the watch together, ready to go?
Yeah, already.
Oh, really?
Because this is one of those videos where it's like, she's just going to talk stupidly, and I like the fact that we can have a discussion about things,
Right.
And like not really care about what she's saying.
Yeah, that's sadly how it usually goes with Maggie. We listen to her nonsense and we go, okay, that's crazy. Let's bring up something else. So
Moving quickly on.
yeah. Okay, so she previously was talking about compulsory heterosexuality and Protestant work ethics. I don't know what that relates to, but we'll see.
Maggie, how are you able to make videos if not with on this regularity without a work ethic?
Well, a religious work ethic, maybe. I don't know. It's got to be Hindu work ethics, not Protestant.
No, I always thought that Maggie was more into Islam. She used to go Allahu Akbar at every script she writes, and she gets what's left after the explosion.
Oh, well, maybe after she criticized Snyder with his 2-second clip of people praying in a mosque, therefore he's against religion. I don't know what the hell that would be.
That exists.
Yeah.
Listen, Maggie. I don't like Zack Snyder either, but come on, Also, Whisp, type in on mute.
Yeah.
My God, for 2 years now.
I've been trying to type quite.
Sadly, Wisp used the spacebar as his push to talk, so it's constantly.
I know, but it's like I just love that Whisp. I'm trying to be as quiet as possible. It's like honestly, I feel that my pregnant missus is going to hear from upstairs. Incessant
That's just
typing.
Hawk, no. That's just a baby kicking.
Yeah, all right then. Goose stepping, is it? Okay.
Smashing the keyboard. All right, let's get on with it.
Even Protestant work ethic are all set in stone. He insists that he and the heroes that he recognizes should rebel against these systems, while also reassuring himself and the heroes that he recognizes that the world is actually perfect and doesn't need to change.
What is she talking about?
What?
Oh, no, right. So she's gone. This is where her delusions start taking over the point that she's making. She's just angry at the world right now, and so she's trying to save it. Right, I'm trying to think. All right, I'm trying to think of how to word this without making her sound completely retarded. She's
What, the truth?
Yeah, she's angry at white men because she thinks they control the world, and that they don't want anything to change because they run it.
Right.
And that's
Isn't it
a bad
just a
thing.
Jewish world conspiracy with
Yeah.
white people?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she's accusing Campbell of saying the world is perfect and somehow people need to change because the hero's journey is about apotheosis and change.
Yeah. When in reality, the hero's journey is literally just tropes that he's found in all of human literature, and he's just made this thing going, this is a similar pattern in most stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it ends with becoming a self-actualizing human with agency.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what that has to do with the Protestant work ethic, which is set in stone. I'm like, that's not a thing. There's nothing.
Well, taking a leaf out of our favorite German's book, communists don't like work.
Oh,
So
okay.
any work ethic is, ugh.
Discipline,
Oh, no.
tradition. What? Getting up in the morning.
They don't like it until they have taken over through the marvelous revolution, and then everybody lives in the workers' paradise where you have 24 hours of work every day, with a shit bucket next to the bench you sit on while you're on the conveyor belt that you're chained to.
No, Whisp. You live in a society where there's 55,000 poets for every one farmer.
Is the poetry any good?
No.
Okay.
Oh God, no!
All the good Roman poetry, or
It's
sorry.
like it's like that poetry from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
They all become Vorgons.
Yeah, Vorgon poetry. Yeah, that's what communist poetry is.
Oh.
All right. So she's going to jump into, again, another one of his videos, which is his PBS series, which I never watched, but I didn't know he made them. So let's see.
Here's Campbell saying as much from The Power of Myth, the PBS series that did a lot to secure his place in pop culture infamy.
When people say to me, do you have optimism about the world, how terrible it is? I said, yes, just say it's great. Just the way it is.
That people like him should work within the systems.
I don't think it would help you to change the system, but it would help you to live in the system as a human being.
This is like saying that at the end of Star Wars, Luke should have joined the Empire.
What?
But it's not.
What?
What system is he actually talking about?
Yeah.
Is he talking about society, the government, or just the thing that is found that he has found, the pattern of the hero's journey? Is he talking about that system in quotation marks? Because that is something that you cannot change, because it is about the child maturing into the adult.
Well, even if he's talking about life, like let's say you want to become an academic, you go to school, you say, well, you can't change how a PhD student becomes a professor. It's like, yeah, you can't. You can't just step in and say, I want to be a professor because I said so. There's rules, there are standards and procedures that you have to follow to get tenure and to prove to the people around you that you're smarter than them in some capacity. So they can say, oh yeah, you totally should have this job, and you've proven it with your work and your 10 years of whatever. That's him as a person, as a professor, saying, yeah, you can't just go into any social system and say, I'm going to change it because you guys are all wrong and I have a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
It's like they all want to live in this magic matrix world where they can just upload knowledge into their brains and then be awesome.
It's like
by deciding to be awesome.
Yeah, it's like the perpetual revolution that communists keep going on about. It's like you have to constantly fight against the system. It's like you are the system. What are you talking about? Why are you changing everything always? It doesn't make any sense to change things which work.
Yeah. I mean, no offense, but let's be honest. Luke should have just joined the Empire because the new republic he created was shit. So,
yeah, let's join this.
Also, he'll be helpless against the Yuvang.
Let's join this evil empire. My dad who wants to kill me, the crazy emperor who's going to use me for his nefarious ends. No. How about no, Maggie?
How about no, you crazy bastard?
Jesus. Okay, here's Yu-Gi-Oh! 5 Dicks. Okay. Maggie is about as coherent I am after 17 Benadryls, but she clearly doesn't have this shadow man in the hat to help her get back to sobriety. Good Lord, 1 minute she's talking about the history of the railroad and tries to relate it to the patriarchy. She hasn't brought up the patriarchy yet, amazingly.
She did.
So,
She didn't. She has brought the patriarchy up.
well, it was white, hetero, male, Christian worldview. So, technically that could be part. Then she brought up raging misogyny and some other stuff, but it's not. She didn't say the P word yet, so I'm kind of curious if it's ready to go. I don't know. She did show off Trump, so I'm like, all right, it's not too far off, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so yeah, I guess Star Wars was wrong. Thanks, Maggie. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Which, bold move, Cotton. His mantra, which you've probably heard not knowing that it came from him, I certainly didn't, is follow your bliss.
If you do follow your bliss, you put yourself on a kind of track that has been there all the while waiting for you. And the life that you ought to be living is the one you're living somehow. If you're following your bliss, I mean, you're having that joy, that refreshment, that life all the time.
Which does sound nice. It sounds like he's saying, know yourself intimately, follow your heart, lead with bravery, and good things will happen.
Follow your bliss. I mean, find where it is and don't be afraid to follow it. If the work that you're doing is the work that you chose to do because you are enjoying it, that's it. But if you think, oh, gee, I couldn't do that, that's your dragon that's locking you in.
Looking at the current state of things, seeing all the unionizing and workers coming together, having to fight for basic human decency, it's clear his point of view.
Wait, what? Maggie?
Why are we
Current? You're talking as if we live in 1820.
The best thing about it is she's talking like Joseph Campbell was talking about 2022.
Yeah, this is
in a PBS thing from the 1990s.
Yeah, this is common philosophy from your teachers, from your parents. Like, do what makes you happy. It's like, yes, I've heard that all the time. So he's just saying in a different way, in a more, I don't know.
Follow your call.
Whatever higher intellectual way you want to describe it, he put it into a very simple way that we can understand as well. But there's nothing wrong with that. And then she shows a picture of a bunch of people in a work line or something. I'm like, what is she talking about?
in a prison factory or something?
Yeah, I'm like,
but
what is
Maggie,
this?
That's, by the way, Maggie, what you showed is what we see happening under communism. That's your ideology. That's your bad shit. The second point here is that you said that's the current state of affairs? Are you insane? Basic decency of work. Maggie, I don't think you've ever worked a single day in your life.
Yeah, what part of the world is she referring to? Like communist China?
No, that's a diverse place. That is wonderful.
Like Zimbabwe? Like, where are we going?
That's a diverse place. That is wonderful.
Okay. Everyone's wearing the same outfit, all grungy and dirty in a line waiting for their turn. It's like, okay, where is this factory?
But there are no problems in diverse places, which means places that don't have white people.
Oh.
Those are wonderful places. There are no problems there. Everything is wonderful.
So because he's a professor who worked hard to be a PhD in his job, he comes from a place of extreme privilege.
Yeah, you should have made room for a black woman of disability.
Getting a PhD is a privilege? Okay. Working your ass off to get your degree, then your master's, then 4 years to get a thesis going for your PhD. Then however long that takes to eventually go from TAing to tutorial leader to, I don't know, subbing in for another professor. And then the faculty going, hey, you know what? You're pretty good. You've been here for 14, 15 years. We're going to make you a professor. That's extreme privilege.
He should have just handed down his title to some impoverished Native American, black, disabled, homosexual birthing person.
Yeah, you know how competitive it is to become a professor these days in any university in the world? Probably hard.
Oh, it looks very easy if you want to go into gender studies.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess so. Like, holy hell. I can't imagine someone working that hard in an intellectual field and say, oh, he's just so privileged. It's like no one's born with a literary mind to study books in general in fiction. No one goes like, "Hey, I can really get into that." It's like, okay, maybe he has that brain. I doubt it. That's a weird thing to say about someone. He's privileged. Anyway, here's Zaza Smoker. Hey, how's it going? Man, Maggie has this unique talent where she can make the most inspiring things sound like the gayest thing ever. Maggie seems like her parents let Disney movies raise her. I wonder which Disney movie made her want to kill Kurt Cameron.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she doesn't like Kurt Cameron very much, I know.
We've all been there.
He's a kooky guy.
No, I mean, we've all been there watching her hate Kurt Cameron.
Yeah, that's true. And some of that might be, valid, that you could say crazy things about Kurt Cameron because he does have some weird movies. But not to the weird juxtaposition of her throwing Kurt Cameron and connecting it with the patriarchy and Christianity being evil. And
Bobby Lobby, Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, Donald Trump, pregnancy and abortion rights. The usual things.
The word of association between the real person named Kirk and the fictional character called James T. Kirk was brilliant. That was like, wow, Maggie, you are special. You are some kind of special lady.
I couldn't believe that actually happened. And this is the main problem with Maggie is, like you say, she's such a scatterbrain that the fact that anybody can take her seriously is just laughable. Completely laughable.
I think if people who watch these people, not just Maggie, but people on YouTube that we've covered, who make a connection and go, "Oh, they explained the connection." The connection could be absolute bullshit, as we heard from Pillar of Garbage when you try to connect the Native American roles in the Western film genre that somehow translated to the specific roles of the Sand People.
Yeah.
In episode 4, it's like, that's how do you make that connection? And because he explained himself, oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's like, no, there's no connection whatsoever. That's
not how these things work.
Yeah, it's so obvious. Like you ask, hey, George, how'd you come up with that idea? Well, we thought about it, and then we did this, and then we recorded some voices. We got the artist, he drew some pictures, and we went with it. That was good. Like that's it. There's nothing else there. There's not. Oh, yes, the Kurosawa films were inspired by Western films, and certainly George was inspired by the John. What was it? Not the John Pope. I can't remember the guy's last name. The guy who made all the Searchers and a bunch of other Western films. John Ford.
Oh, yeah, Ford. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's inspirations, but there's no direct connection between those things, unless you're talking about plot points of certain films. But even then, you don't suddenly start going, well, the Wookiees were certainly the slaves being held in one of those stories. It's like, no, never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So all these connections that people make that are tangentially explained, people eat it up like, oh yeah, there's a reason. It's the dumbest reason and the most inconsequential one, but no, because there's a reason, therefore I'm going to keep listening to this guy.
Yeah.
And because it's YouTube, there's visuals. Oh, it must be true because there's Native Americans on the screen and they're waving sticks around. Therefore, they're the
Tusken Raiders.
The Tusken Raiders, exactly. Anyway. Mr. Extreme Privilege. Okay, here we go.
Comes from a place of extreme privilege. Oh, you didn't quit your job to live in your van? You must not be brave enough. Never mind that you have a kid and you probably need to keep your health insurance. His framework for bravery is exclusively for those who have the social mobility and hard power, cough, 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 white men, to make selfish choices.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Maggie?
Cough, 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 white men. You know something? Just because white men don't want to have sex with you, Maggie, just give over making these videos.
You can't. You think black people can't have hard power, or whatever it is she said?
Also, do you think that white men are able to just quit their jobs at any minute and just do whatever they want? All right then. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, black people can't work hard and go into schooling and study any topic. They can't do it. Never
Yeah,
happened.
but Smudge, it's like that. Oh,
Okay.
white men can just do what they want. Yeah, let me just quit my job and then just go off in my van and do whatever I want to do. Yeah, leaving my pregnant partner behind. Yeah, I can easily just do that. What the fuck?
I just have a hard time comprehending the level of racist and sexist bile she is spewing.
Yeah.
While
yeah,
believing that she is the non-sexist and non-racist.
Yeah,
All,
she's incredibly sexist and incredibly racist.
all white men are evil. There's no ifs, ands, or but. It's just, oh, he's a white guy saying something. He must be wrong. Oh, he's a guy who's well known and famous. He's privileged. He didn't work hard for that. No, he didn't write this extremely amazing piece of research on the literature of the planet for the past few thousand years. No, he's just some schmuck exercising the patriarchy power that he's been given to him from birth.
By what she's saying, black people are the absolute opposite of every powerful trait she is attributing to white people only, white men specifically only.
Yeah.
And that means that she thinks black people are only capable of being slaves.
Yeah.
Like, just look at around the same time, Thomas Sowell was in Boston. He was getting his degree in economics, and he's studying with Milton Friedman and all these other guys. He wasn't, privileged. He came from a small community in Harlem. He studied. He looked at the facts. He based all of his research on the facts. Same with all these other wonderful black scholars and female scholars of the time as well. Like, it's the same effort. You have to go through the steps. You have to go through the exams, write your thesis. This is how it goes. I don't know why she's harping on this guy so much for writing a book that she doesn't agree with without explaining why.
Because he's a white man.
Because
That's
he's
it.
more culturally relevant than she will ever be, and that pisses her off.
Yes, that's it. I think we've all really got to accept that she just hates anyone who might be more popular than she is, and especially if it's a white male.
Why she hates Maul in all likelihood is because she's like, I want those subs and that money for that little effort.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I wish she actually, if she wants to criticize this guy, she has to get to some intellectual level to take apart his works, a page. Give me one page, Maggie. Read the page. Tell me what you disagree with, and tell us why. That's what I want from her. One paragraph would work for me too, and say, okay, he's wrong here. And I'm like, okay, we could then look at your effort. We could look at your evidence. We could reference it. We can see where you're right or wrong. That's what I want. She's just whining. Oh, he's just a guy who doesn't understand the problems of if you're a single mom or dad. It's like, okay. That's not.
But yes, tell me more, woman from California who's never had children. What are the struggles of a single mom and dad? But you don't know. You don't even know what it's like to work a 9-to-5 job, Maggie.
Yeah, or the person who has no other opportunities aside from working in the oil fields or certain rural areas of Canada or the States or wherever. It's like, yeah, you have to work where you have opportunity. That's true. But then you move for better opportunities. That's why there's so many problems with immigration these days. They want more opportunities. And it's not because they're born in a certain place. It's because they want to go to a certain place where they think they could find what they want. It's that simple. If I thought I could have a better life, or I just wanted to learn about becoming a sushi chef, I would probably go to Japan and start from the ground up and become like, the basic sous chef and dishwasher, whatever. And that would be that would, to me, that's the smartest move I could make if I wanted to become a sushi chef.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. You move to where you want to go. And if I have that freedom, not right now because, all the travel restrictions and what have you, but yeah, I'd be starting from ground zero. It's not privileged.
Yep.
Some white guy going to Japan. Teach me, amazing fish people. Like, oh, okay.
Honestly, there
The fish
are black authors who are very successful these days, like Evan Winters, the Rage of Dragons. He basically just self-published it and got it traditionally published. Now he's writing a 5-book series for a publishing company because he's read it effectively.
Yeah. He, through passion, he did his own thing. And it's an odd thing to say, especially when we have the internet and accessibility to millions of people at a time, that, oh no, you can't do your own thing. You can't start a business. You can't do that. You're not privileged like this white guy back in the 40s who wrote a book. It's like, what? What planet are you on, Maggie? You're on frickin' YouTube making money, talking smack about a guy who's 70 years old or who did something 70 years ago. And
she's on planet high as a kite.
Mm-hmm.
all those wonderful petrol products in her makeup, in her nose. She's like,
no, I was thinking that she does meth.
oh,
She'd look different.
Or some other mind-altering substance.
oh.
My bet is LSD.
I'm going with the X chromosome.
Oh, done. Install a new giggle.wave. You sound like a broken tire that's trying to ear rape people.
No, it's part of the point.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
It's like a demon is trying to escape from you.
Okay.
Right, let's keep going on with how white man bad.
Right.
Yeah, moving on.
He never examines further than this. He doesn't entertain the nuance that follow your bliss could be someone else's. My mom couldn't stock the refrigerator this month. Campbell is arguing.
What is she arguing?
She's not like, okay, right, guys. She's not on about the hero's journey anymore. She's on about how this white man is bad. She can't argue what he says.
Yeah, she could have been arguing about or talking about Jordan Peterson's clean your room rule and saying, well, maybe maybe you're homeless. You don't have a room. It's like, okay, Maggie, we get it. That has nothing to do with the rule.
Yeah,
That's enough to keep clean when you're homeless.
Well,
Keep in order.
yeah, but
the thing. Oh God, go on, Sponge, go on.
I'm just saying that she's missing the point of what that thing means, and even people misinterpreted that. As I said last time, the hippies were like in the 70s going, "Hey, let's just do fun stuff. Let's be happy." It's like, that's not what he said. That's not what he was. Don't lose responsibility, gain responsibility, so you can follow your bliss, not throw everything away and dance around naked. That's not what he's saying.
I made
just ad hominem the video.
Yeah, this whole thing is doesn't know. She wants to talk about modern things. She's not bright enough to do it. She's also frightened about going fully into politics, thinking she'll lose her loony fans because they might not be interested in that stuff. And the thing is, she's just gone, oh, I'll go on to... She's just looked up white man who wrote book, and like Joseph Campbell's come up at some point, and she's gone, oh, I'll use him. And what she's doing is she goes, oh, the hero's journey. Realise she can't argue against a hero's journey because it's just not an arguing topic. But to make out that the hero's journey is bullshit, what she's going to do is she's going to attack Joseph Campbell directly, and try and persuade her rabid lunatic viewers that because he's a bad man, everything he writes is wrong and bad. And we looked at some of those comments from underneath the videos. It's like, these people are fucking insane. It's like they were all perfectly fine with him until this video came out saying he was bad. And because Maggie said that he was bad, they then said he was bad, even though they were perfectly fine using his stuff and reading his stuff and knowing about him. It's just ridiculous. It's just...
It's pattern recognition. There's not
This video really solidifies the fact that Maggie is an incredibly racist and sexist person and is also incredibly petty, narcissistic, and in all honesty is probably quite an evil person. And I know I've always said to Whisp, don't call people evil, but I honestly do think she is. I think she's really, really evil, hiding under a facade of this ditzy person. Because the stuff she comes out with and does, like, Joseph Campbell's only, like, slight against her was being white. That was enough for her to be angry at him. Just think about that. It's like,
Yeah.
Joseph Campbell was just white, and that's why she's angry.
That's why
There's nothing else.
if this was written by a female black immigrant or something, exactly the same, life choices, she'd be like, "Oh, look how brave she is." Now, if she doesn't bring up the heroine's journey, because if she did any research, that would have popped up. She's not even going to talk about it because that's what we covered. Wit and Folly so many times, and that's all she kept talking about was the monomyth. That we got bored of her, and now she's just doing freaking
A-dramas.
Asian dramas. I was like, oh my god, she just went crazy.
She has nothing to offer.
Yeah,
anymore.
she's done. She finished her course in school about creative writing, and then she just went into freaking listening to Asian groups and Asian dramas. It's a retarded kind of channel now, but anyway.
I have one objection to what you just said. She is not me, Smud.
Oh, okay.
She's not done. She got finished with it.
All right. Anyway, here's Buck Breaking Bad. Hey, Buck, how you doing? Does Maggie's criteria apply to Asians since they are the highest earning demographic in the United States, and she does realize you can pursue your passions without quitting your job? How many success stories involve a guy keeping a job he hates for a while? Yes, this is why a lot of people say, don't quit your day job. Hustle, do the thing on the side. This is part of the American dream. You do as much as you can within the confines of your job. And when you're done your job, your 9 to 5, you do something corresponding to that job or something completely different to follow your passions, your hobbies, maybe even the same job in a different sector or what have you. So
something you actually want to do.
Yeah, you use your job to live, and you do your 4 hours a day to write, to draw, to do whatever. Yeah, that's normal. Yeah. That's everyone does. Everyone has a hobby. Only some people make that a side gig.
It's like this isn't my job. I have a normal job.
Yeah.
But this pays the bills, so I have a house and internet and stuff to sit at to do this.
Yeah, and you could easily, if you wanted to, keep going on your own way and do your own podcasting and do your own thing on YouTube if you really, really wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the moment in time, it's like it's just nice not to. But to answer the question about Asians, it just depends on whether they're white in the media this week or not. Whether Maggie hates him.
Honestly, I think he could have the opposite philosophy. Like, don't follow your bliss. Keep working. Whatever, even if, like, say you're the guy in Alberta, all you have is an oil rig job. It's like, keep doing that. At least you could eat. At least you could do that. What are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. Not eat and die? That's stupid. It's like, yeah, Maggie, okay.
Yeah.
We know that. It pays well because of immense health hazards and being prone to accidents. Yeah. So it's something that lots of people do for a while and then quit. My brother wanted to work on an oil rig once, and then after they saw the safety levels, he decided against it.
It's scary stuff. Yeah, it's very dangerous, but it's well-paying for what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is the way I see her. She could have said any argument, but because Joseph Campbell said it, therefore bad, and she's going to say, oh, look at the reaction. Look at what could happen to you. It's like, yeah, that's true. Anyway.
That if you're stuck in a dead-end job that you hate, well, that's entirely your fault. You're just not being heroic enough. You're failing on an existential level to live your life the right way. It's an individual problem rather than a structural problem.
Oh, are you serious? Are you joking, Maggie?
No,
You're
he's
gonna,
not.
You're gonna blame society that you can't get a job in whatever you wanted. Really?
Society should provide you for what you want to do, regardless of whether anyone needs you to do it.
This is basic. She's arguing logistics. Oh, I can't study on the side. I can't do a side job. I can't.
Yeah, the thing is, she's arguing society's problems in a review about a book on the hero's journey. We're literally going into why shouldn't this is almost like Maggie's Communist manifesto, and it's in a video about the hero's fucking journey. Why make this video? It's clear this is not about the hero's journey.
Because clearly she wanted Smudcast to cover her. That is the only explanation.
Yeah.
It's a pretty empty thing to say, but yeah.
It's clear that she just wanted to bitch about what was in the news, but because she's so useless, she can't just do it.
I want to know, what's the structural problem with whatever theoretical job or sector or industry she's referring to? Because you could easily attack anyone. Go ahead.
But that doesn't matter. What does the structural integrity of fucking Starbucks has to do with the hero's journey? Or the book A Hero of a Thousand Faces? What does it have to do with anything? Starbucks don't pay me $17 an hour. Okay, what's that got to do with ancient Greek mythology following a structure of story tropes?
Yeah.
What does Roe versus Wade have to do with the Odyssey? What does, a good guy with a gun have to do with the Mask of Zorro? What I mean? What do any of these things have to do with each other beyond an insane Californian bag of wind who was literally living off of a Thrush advert and Mummy and Daddy's pension pot?
Well, she did make that comment about the generally valid normal, those 3 words which she quoted from.
Yeah, and she hates the fact that those are the normal. Well, what is the normal? What is it? Opposite of you, Maggie? Just anything opposite of you. Just how can you get triggered of the word normal? Good God.
All right,
This woman.
There are people who would like to be more normal because they're plagued by their disabilities and whatnot. While accepting that they are, but they would still prefer to be normal. Maggie seems just to be the type who resents normality because she can't have it.
Yeah. She's
Like I
She's a
said,
pain in the ass.
these people have apophenia.
Well, I don't mind she's commenting about something that he said.
I remember what that means. Oh, wow, why did it take so long? Oh, God.
I just wish she'd attack the book, because that's what we should have been going on about.
Yeah. We're
She only knows how to attack the book with physical instruments, not with her mind.
Okay.
No, but it's she's not even attacking the hero's journey. She's attacking the capitalist West. And you're like, okay. She does this all the time, though. She starts off on a topic and then goes into what her actual topic's about, which has nothing to do with what she's actually on about.
If she was attacking Peterson, she would say, well, Maps of Meaning is a horrible book. Look at this other book, Clean My Room. That's silly. It's like,
No, she'd be like, are Disney princesses inherently misogynistic, and then go into Jordan Peterson? Because she'd be like, wait, what? Hang on, what's this got to do with Jordan Peterson? And in reality, she wants to talk about Jordan Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
It's like right now, she wants to talk about the capitalist West. But she went, oh, how can I hide it? Oh, I'll talk about eeny, meeny, miny, hero's journey. There it is. That's what I'll do.
I love when they do mention the structural problem with the law or industry in a certain thing, but they don't say exactly what the structure is or what the problem in the structure is. They say, oh, there's a problem with blacks in the legal system. They're always getting suspended or accused of this or that or brought into the court system. It's like maybe they committed a crime. Did you think?
Yeah, but they couldn't do that.
Like,
Black person committing the crime.
Yeah, like what? Why are they disproportionately being accused of crime? It's like because they're committing the crime.
Yeah.
Cops just don't bring in anyone because they saw them on the street.
Yeah. No, but they do because they're racist, like Joseph
right,
Campbell.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, more generalities, nothing more specific we can get in, sink our teeth into and look at. But okay.
And the only way to escape is to follow his series of steps,
What?
which is pretty convenient for him because he doesn't believe that we need to fundamentally.
No, you don't have. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! Right, it's not a rule of how to live your life, you thick bimbo. Right, it's a series of tropes that he's found that explain how stories usually work. Why are you making this out to be like his book on how to live your life?
Well, she wants to change the world. She does not even have a grip on herself, but she wants to change the world already.
This is not Joseph Campbell's self-help book. This is just this is educating people on how for millennia story writers have used these similar things to explain the hero's journey.
Yeah, she's applying the context to real life for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Did she go Joseph Campbell and think, oh, it begins with J, so like he's related to Jordan Peterson or something?
I don't know.
And like just get confused. She got so angry that another white guy called, name beginning with J, wrote a book. Now there are two of them.
Another professor writing a book that's very famous. Like, oh no.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, let's keep going. I don't think she's going to change the topic anytime soon.
No.
Yeah, no, you think?
Don't get me wrong, Campbell has faced hardships. Like when he was unemployed for 5 years during the Great Depression. And wait, am I reading this correctly? He didn't need a job except dog sitting for a friend. And he had the free time to read for 9 hours a day?
Wow.
For
Yeah,
5
Maggie.
years.
It's like he didn't have a job,
Maggie,
Maggie.
are you jealous? Doesn't this sound like the socialist utopia you want so much?
This is the Great Depression, Maggie. What the hell do you want him to do?
Can I just remind people that the Great Depression didn't just affect America, but as well, it affected the whole world.
Everybody.
She wants
Right.
him to dig in the acid mines.
Bear in mind, to remind everybody as well, the only reason the world got out of the Great Depression was because of a big, massive fucking war. Right? It wasn't. There was no way to get out of it other than to have a big, massive fucking war.
Oh, is that why we did that?
Yeah, let's put it this way. That was the only way it was going to end.
It wasn't because of the war. It's because what came after the war, where they realized, okay, we don't need all this government production to.
No, it's not even that. Number one, you had less people, so there was a shortage in the workforce,
Right.
so people got paid better wages. Number two, productivity. Right, there was more factories, more people were working, and they kept on after the war. Number two, technological advances created new stuff. So all these things built into the fact that because in the 30s everything was kind of stunted, and that's what caused the Great Depression with everything.
Well, there's many things.
Well, yeah, there's also obviously the immense bank loans that America was sending over to the Weimar Republic, which why America ever thought they were going to get paid back. I do not know.
Right. And we're talking about the New Deal and the decrease in government size at 1945 in America, and lowering of taxes, all kinds of other things that occurred.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of economists that analyzed, like, yes, the war was the start of that, but it wasn't the war itself per se. It was what came after that because of all these things happened.
But the way the Great Depression was going, a war was the only way to kickstart anything. To end the Depression and kickstart the rebuilding.
Well,
because
the Great New
how
Deal,
desperate everyone was.
or rather, the New Deal exacerbated the problems. It would have been corrected within a few years if you follow some economists, but because they kept spending more and more money and raised the tax rates and all this crazy stuff, it extended it for years and years.
It's almost like that stuff that's happening now. But anyway,
fancy that, huh?
But in a worse thing, because also you had the Dust Bowls in America, didn't you? Where it was like they couldn't grow crops and everything. And so there's loads of things. Let's just put it this way: anybody alive now, if they went back to the Depression era, you got no chance, guys. It's just, it was fucking hard. Like we did this, we learned a bit of it at school, and it was just, you couldn't believe people lived. What they had to go through.
I heard the stories from my grandparents. I think everyone did if they had living grandparents. In Canada, they gave out like staples, like government staples to like bread and butter and milk to people because they couldn't afford it. It was really bad. So
let's put it this way: in the UK, the Labour Party and the Conservative Party joined together to combat it. As in, there was no more like election stuff. They made a union government because they went, everyone's got to get involved in this. We can't be arguing with each other. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. So for her to bring up the Great Depression and say, "Oh, he had all this time on his hands," like everyone had time on their hands. They couldn't get a job. They couldn't start a business. They couldn't do anything.
And he did the right thing by reading.
Yeah.
Educating himself.
So let's keep going. Here's Better Balls Saul. Hey, thanks. Maggie says things like exploitation and the workers. The problem is that her definition of exploitation is working a retail job and being too much of a coward to tell your boss, "No, I'm not coming in on my day off."
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably.
Anyway, let's hear about how this white woman who's never worked a day in her life shrugs off, the Great Depression.
Okay.
Years. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Before I did YouTube, I also dog sat as one of the 7 jobs that I had so that I could just pay my rent. His description of this time sounds exactly like a celebrity recounting their daily routine. His advice to other people is that he created a schedule, which, good for you. I guess you didn't have ADHD, let alone another human to
Maggie, you fucking retard. The first thing that people with ADHD get taught in therapy, if they have good therapists, is how to make and keep schedules. Because that is what keeps the ADHD in check. Or rather, it is how you work around the ADHD. You fucking bind, you retarded, bloody asshole who doesn't know fucking anything about fucking anything.
Isn't this standard procedure for people nowadays? Like, what do you do this morning? Let me write it down. Oh, yeah, I got to go buy milk. I got to go do the work. I was like, yeah, you should have a schedule in your head. And if you don't, you should write it down on a day planner or...
Also, as well, she's saying I had 7 jobs. It's like, you're amazing, Maggie. In the Great Depression, you didn't have any. There was no jobs going.
There are no jobs.
There's no jobs. Yeah, but you had no jobs. Yeah, Maggie, because there's no jobs. There's a Great Depression going on. No one's working because there's no jobs.
She's talking no money. Yeah, and by the way, this is shit you get to hear. I remember from decades ago when I was a tadpole, the government the left complained that the government is so draconic and evil because it demands that people have jobs when there are not enough jobs. Now here we have a lefty complaining that someone didn't have a job during the time when there were no jobs.
Yeah. How dare you
While
not
she
work
is someone whom I doubt can hold a normal job in the first place. Also, Joseph Campbell, look, it sounds like he did more in his life than Karl Marx before his writing. Because Karl Marx didn't do fucking anything, Maggie. He lived off of the money of other people. Joseph Campbell still worked somewhat like doing dog sitting. It's at least something.
Yeah.
What a strange thing to argue. I had 7 jobs when I was trying to pay rent. It's like, good for you, Maggie. This is the Great Depression.
Yeah, it's
No, everything always worked the exact same way that it's working right now where Maggie is conscious. In the present.
yeah.
This is how everything always was. People in ancient Egypt, in the Old Kingdom, had the exact same life as she has today. So you should just get a job as an accountant or something.
Yeah, every ancient Egyptian went down to the local Starbucks and had their spiced, like, raw tea or something. I'm making a joke about an ancient Egyptian god, but I can't think of one. Logged onto the Egyptianet and just like blogged all the time. She doesn't understand time periods at all.
Back in my day, we all hailed Set. It's like, okay, thanks, Maggie.
Oh God, you fucking idiots!
I bet she goes. Oh,
you're probably the assholes who kept making hieroglyph graffiti at the resting places in the desert. Which, by the way, that's a thing. There is a 4,000-year-old graffiti hieroglyphs on giant stones where people took rests, and they seriously just read, "I was here," like name was here, and this guy loves girl. It's just the same fucking shit, and that guy takes it up the ass. Like 4,000 years ago, same shit we write on toilets today.
Yeah. The really weird one is that one that says the Jews behind 9/11. It's really strange. Even 2,000 years before, they knew what they're on about.
Oh boy. Okay. So yeah, she's complaining.
This is where we would have needed a soundboard.
Yeah, she's complaining she has ADHD. I'm like, honey, that's not an excuse. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, and it also sounds like she didn't get therapy for her ADHD that is proper. I'm surprised she's able to get videos together if she actually has that.
I'm not convinced she actually does her own editing. I don't think she does.
Nor should you be.
Yeah.
Oh, also, by the way, I've just looked further. By getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning, by 9 I could sit down to read. That meant I used the first hour to prepare my own breakfast and to take care of the house and put things together in whatever shack I happened to be living in at the time. Then 3 hours of that first 4-hour period went to reading. All right, so you lived in a shack. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That humbles you.
And again, this has nothing to do with the actual book. She's apparently trying to argue.
Yeah.
Oh no, how dare this man suffer?
Yeah, Aristotle went for a walk in the morning. Sir, this is about his metaphysics. What are you talking about?
Nah, he went for a walk. He's ableist.
Yeah, seriously, Maggie complaining, and she is hyper. If it's not just insanity, yeah, maybe. Let's assume she has ADHD for the sake of the argument. If she is arguing that arranging schedules is something that ADHD people can't do, she's a fucking bint.
Yeah.
And her therapist probably gave up on her.
All right, we're at 15 minutes. This is sad. This is like weird, crazy sad because now she just, every sentence is this weird ad hominem attack, which has nothing to do with, well, what we should be talking about, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue.
take care of, or a police state monitoring your every waking breath, or seemingly responsibilities other than going to the occasional cocktail party, which he did include time for in his schedule. Brendan Gill, a journalist and associate of Campbell, criticized him in 1989, saying,
"Far from being spiritual, it is intensely materialistic. My old spellbinding friend is preaching a doctrine similar to that which Ayn Rand voiced in her novel The Fountainhead."
Gill went on to compare Campbell's
So?
do whatever makes you happy idea to the selfishness and greed of Reagan, Thatcher,
What?
and Wall Street yuppies.
The most
What year is
conspicuous
this?
members of our society.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Already, we're not starting off on a great journey together. But it's not only the big ideas that Campbell contradicts himself on constantly. It's even
Where?
small details like, are computers good or bad?
What has this got to do with the hero's journey?
How did we get here? We just jumped like 30 years. Like, what's happening?
Oh, it's
No.
gonna get freaking weird.
As if it isn't weird already?
Yeah, she's bringing something completely irrelevant, even more irrelevant than anything she's brought up previous to this.
Well, she tried to bring up Ayn Rand, and she was kind of controversial during her time, not only because of what she wrote, but her personal life, and that's fine. But to compare that to Campbell's, like, yeah, and your point is because some guy said so? What does that mean? What was the problem? He said stuff that was like Ayn Rand's fledgling philosophy? Like, okay. And what does that mean? And then Reagan came out. That 1976 when he got like what?
No, Reagan. Yeah, Reagan was president. What, 1981?
The 80s, yeah, the early 80s. You're right, yeah.
Yeah, because Maggie Thatcher was 79 till 90. Yeah. So what? No, so Wall Street came out in 87. What's this got to do with a book that was written in 1949?
I am so lost.
Prepare to get even more lost.
That
Yeah,
was-
but now we talk about computers. It's like, right? What's this got to do with the story tropes of the hero's journey, of which you're telling us is but the hero's journey is bullshit? Why? Well, because Joseph Campbell, blah 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 blah. Well, what's this got to do with the hero's journey? Did what he write about the hero's journey? Is it wrong? No. Right. So it's not bullshit then, is it? What more? There's no more argument. We're just now going to talk about computers.
I almost
and I'm
feel like
right?
I almost feel like doing a video on this because it's so bonkers. Like she just threw in within 10 seconds. She jumped like 30 years, and not even connected what she was saying. She's like Ronald Reagan, greed. Like what? What are you talking about? Gordon
No offense,
Gekko.
greed is good because everyone's greedy. Even the nicest person is greedy because you always want more. It's just that most of us realize we're not going to get it.
Anyway,
Jesus
deep
Christ.
breaths. Let's keep going before we lose ourselves here.
He recounts this tale of President Eisenhower going into a room full of computers.
He
Eisenhower.
puts the question to these machines, is there a God? And there's all those lights flashing and wheels turning and things like that. And after about 10 minutes of that kind of thing, a voice comes forth and the voice says, now there is.
Ooh, spooky.
That's during the 1950s. Computers were the size of rooms, entire basketball courts.
When they had to move, what was it, the IBM machines into like the bank and everything, there was like 15 vans to move one computer.
Anyone would be
With
intimidated.
the power of a calculator.
Yeah, they would be intimidated in awe of all these machines whirring and buzzing, going, "What is this? How does this work?"
Also, he laughed about that. So he wasn't going, "Ooh, spooky." He just laughed about how this computer goes. Now there is, and it's kind of funny because it's like it's a joke.
Maggie doesn't understand it.
Also, this PBS was in 1988. Did you see how big computers were in 1988? This was before the
Like
internet as
smaller.
well. But still before the internet. Computers were still pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
All right.
she's just taken a joke and try to make out that he's saying computers are scary. He's not saying computers are scary. He's just saying there's this funny little story of how Eisenhower asked if there's a God, and the computer says, now there is, making a joke that it was God.
Yeah, there's a quote by Bill Gates saying no one would ever want an iPad or a pad-like device. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's people say dumb shit all the time that are in the field, but this has nothing to do with that. This is just him remembering a story about Eisenhower.
It's an AI joke.
Yeah, it's
Nothing more.
It's a joke, and Maggie's like, oh, he's frightening the computers. It's like, yeah, whatever, Maggie. Sure. Anyway, I'm sure your dad will be back with those cigarettes soon.
Oof.
I ran away to get away from her. It's like, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
Please kill me.
Okay, anyway. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
But moments later, he starts talking about how those little microchips, well, they're angels.
Have you ever looked inside one of those things? Oh, you can't believe it. It's a whole hierarchy of angels, all on slats. Those are miracles. Those are miracles. They are.
So, are computers good or bad? Well, if they're challenging my worldview of a God in heaven.
What?
Like I said, it got weirder. So, this is a fundamental misunderstanding of the notion that shouldn't make things our deity.
Right. And I think he was trying
but
to...
it can also be a modern miracle.
Yeah, he's saying it's amazing. It's beyond his comprehension. I think he was trying to make the joke about how many angels dance on the head of a pin related to the sprockets of a microchip connected to a motherboard or any other circuit board.
It's if you look at it, you can interpret it as a heavenly order.
Yeah.
Because a microchip is in perfect order.
It is amazing. A microprocessor is one of those wonders of the world that has changed our lives for decades now. And for him to say it's a miracle is like, yeah, you're right. It is. I can't understand it myself either.
A technological miracle, yes.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
It's why processor architecture is its own coursework.
Yeah, learning about low-level hardware is a whole area of engineering. So unless you know what you're talking about, other people, like a guy who studies literature goes, holy shit, this is alien to me. It's a miracle. It's like, yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah, it is. It's a completely different field for him. Of course he'd react like that. He's never seen this before.
Yeah.
Okay, here's Cowboy Beebity Bobbity. Alrighty, thank you, sir. When Maggie speaks, it's like she's in the Manchurian Candidate and she's activating sleeper agents. At any rate, Maggie would be a fantastic form of torture for the government. Maybe the FBI could use her ramblings to program the next school shooter. Oh my God. I don't think the school shooter would understand a word she's saying, so he'd just go crazy. So this one, I don't know if you guys ever watched The Lawnmower Man. It's not a very good film, but
no, it's shit.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad film. It plays around with VR and what happens, how you control things, and
AKA nothing to do with the actual book it's based on.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know why it even was made into a film, but
it gets the point across, but I've found it to be a letdown.
Yeah, big time. So. Oh boy, why is she showing this on the screen?
The Barclay episode in TNG was a better version of this.
Oh, the Nth Degree?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so because some guy in a film is saying, I am a god in a virtual world, therefore Joseph Campbell doesn't understand computers? But we know that already, so who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
You thought a bloke from the 1940s wouldn't understand the computer.
Wow, what a concept. An engineer doesn't understand, or a guy who's not an engineer doesn't understand how buildings are made? Wow, how did that happen? Okay. Anyway.
I am God here.
they're bad. But if they're doing what I want, they're tiny, tiny little angels.
Are you an angel?
Is the machine
No.
of society bad? Or is it proof of man's
God.
greatness? While he criticizes
Why does Maggie sound like a discount to Andrew Ryan just then? Is man not a machine? I chose rapture. Ah!
It's only good when it does what I want. It's like, yeah, that's life, Maggie.
The man in Washington says it's only good when it does what I want. The man in Moscow. Oh my God, Maggie. Maggie Ryan, calm down.
Yeah, everything in life. If you don't get what you want, like you go to the hot dog store and they give you a hamburger, it's like, that's not what I wanted. You were bad.
You should be thankful you got food in the first place.
Oh my God, it's like, Maggie, a man chooses, a cat obeys. Oh, just calm down, woman. Jesus. Would you kindly finish this video?
Yeah, she's jumping back into Star Wars for no reason, but let's see. It's probably just a 2-second clip anyway, but let's find out.
and speaks of the individual fighting against the state.
Also, can I just say something? She's tagged this clip wrong.
Oh,
This is not.
you're right.
This is not a scene about fighting the state.
No, but the tag is Power of Myth, Episode 1, The Hero's Adventure.
Ah,
When reality it should be everyone's favourite Star Wars movie, The Wrath of Khan. I mean, Episode 5. That one.
Mark wants to be in. Mark, do you want to be in here?
Well, Mark's read the book.
He said
part of
no.
the Star
Mark said no, and I was like, dude, okay, fine, it's cool. But okay, we'll bring him in.
Wait, Mark wants to be here. No, I don't.
Are you sure about that, Mark? I don't know.
hi, Mark.
The-
Is this where we play the "I did not hit her" clip?
This is
Did
Mark
not
has
hit
turned into
her.
an axe. Axes
Did
don't
not.
have mouths.
All right. Well, Mark will get his hardware going. We'll continue with the video.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Mark.
Hello.
Mark, what do you want to say? Go on, tell us.
I watched the Neil Bree movie. I'm looking for some sanity.
You know, it's kind of sad that Mark actually was reading the book, but unfortunately Maggie's not referring to it at all. We're just sort of...
I've been following like 20 minutes so far, and she has been using quotes wrong as well. Like she's completely getting it wrong. But the Andrew Ryan part got me giggle. Would you kindly continue the video?
Yes, okay, let's go.
Do I actually? I've actually rebought the entire collection again of BioShock remastered. Really
Do
good.
you actually like the remastered one or the original? Because
Uh,
I think I tried the remastered and I noticed like some bugs that I couldn't continue. Maybe they were fixed by now.
I think been fixed. I like it. It's good. The first two games are really good. The third one, no.
Yeah, Infinite was it?
Yeah, no good.
Yeah, it was shit.
That's the one that gets all the attention, though. Infinite, everyone's...
Yeah, because the woman can be made into porno.
Yeah. And also
That's
Troy
really
Bolton's
it.
a good one.
I thought it was because of Americana and all the big talk about the was it the ethnos? Not an ethno state. It's a theocratic,
It is, yeah.
theocratic city in the sky or whatever.
Yeah.
Colombian.
Colombia, yeah, exactly.
It is a really cool idea for the first 5 minutes, and then you just get really bored of it.
Oh yeah.
It's just like play it off so much.
Yeah, the whole roller coaster on your
Wh-
arm sort of thing. It's
Yeah.
like, that's insane.
Which also, once you realise that you never go back to your original timeline, nothing matters.
Yeah.
So, this is why Bioshock 1 and 2 are better. They actually have consistent stories.
And they don't destroy the entire franchise. Because like what the
No.
Infinite DLCs did is just... okay.
Let's say, Jesus Christ, yeah.
That's when like I was so angry I put down the controller and I said like, okay, fuck this. I'm not finishing this.
That's sad.
I talked about
Was it
that
a good idea at
years
least,
ago.
or is it that's
Oh, yeah.
badly executed?
No. There were great ideas, and that's the beauty of what's his name who made it. But you could tell they were half-baked. You could tell.
Yeah.
A lot was cut out.
Like they tried making Infinite 3 times. The first one was, I think, like an open world, kind of like GTA type of open world. That, like, you can revisit areas. But like, it didn't work. It didn't land at all. So they made it into a linear action game, and it didn't really work as well either because it's just the narrative doesn't make sense in the BioShock sense. And like only at the very end, then it's like, oh, it's all connected because of the watchtower.
It's the lighthouse.
A lighthouse.
Yeah, there's always a man, a lighthouse, in a city. Right.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we go back to Andrew Ryan?
Yeah.
Go back to those things.
That was cool. Yeah, I liked Andrew Ryan the best. Alrighty, let's continue.
And this is the threat to our lives. We all face it. We all operate in our society in relation to a system.
He also romanticizes the massive New York skyscrapers that epitomize the cold, inhuman machine of American capitalism.
What?
You can tell what's informing society by the size of what the building is that's the tallest building in the place. The temple was built right in the center of the city.
Okay.
I mean, this was the proper organization.
Salt Lake.
That's the spiritual
That's
center
1 hour away from my
all
house.
directions. And then the Capitol was built right beside the temple. And now the biggest thing is the office building that takes care of the affairs of both the temple and the political building. That's the history of Western civilization.
I really cut this down.
That's not a romanticization. You could say that as a critique.
Or it's even just an examination of priorities, since priority with it was the temple as they were working on laying up the towns and stuff like that, and even built railroads in order to core stone all the way down from the mountains.
Yeah, easily approachable as well.
Yeah, we're talking about modern civilization advancing as we get into the information age, and we build things to facilitate the requirement of the work. So the temple is no longer the driving force of our ethics. We have a constitution, we have a set of laws, we all believe in them, but we still have temples. We still have religion, we still have beliefs. Even if you don't believe in religion, you still have something you fall back on. And
there's also the nature that Salt Lake was founded by a bunch of people looking to get religious freedom after being chased out of 3 states at gunpoint.
Right. Yeah. No,
Maybe there was a reason for that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of history behind the states and why they exist.
No, it was because they didn't like that we were anti-slavery, and Missouri was a deep slave state. Didn't want voter.
So
there was a reason.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with what he's saying.
It's just stupid. It was just a stupid reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
About
But how is it
skyscrapers.
white men's fault? Is what Maggie's thinking.
We haven't gotten to her point yet. We're not sure, but he's talking about how the temple was the biggest building. Now it's their skyscrapers for commerce. And you're like,
But what do the size of buildings have to do with a hero's journey?
Could just
the
be
same as like
marveling
the
at
size of
modern
the cock.
technology.
Yeah, she's
just-
jealous of the size comparisons.
so long as you start making
Contest.
sexual connotations to buildings, I think we're okay.
Yeah, the weird. Yeah, calling Trump Tower a phallic thing obscuring the thing.
Every skyscraper is a phallic
Oh
thing.
God.
Yeah,
Oh no.
The obelisks since Egypt are phallic things. What they actually represent are sunbeams.
Cool.
Nelson's column is a phallic symbol.
This video is a phallic symbol.
My phallic symbol is a symbol.
So long as she doesn't bring up the daddy video quotes, I think we're good.
Or the green door.
Oh,
I'm just waiting.
all right.
In New York now, the debate is over who can build the tallest building, not to praise, but to build the tallest building.
Yeah, and they are magnificent. We are a financial power center, and look what we can do. It's a kind of virtuosic acrobatic stunt.
Ah, yes. I am so inspired when the beautiful Chicago skyline is interrupted by a phallic Trump tower.
Oh my
blocking the
God!
view of Lake
She
Michigan.
said it!
She directly
Not just that, a phallic Trump tower.
And here, Campbell's criticizing commerce. He's not saying this is a good thing. He's being a bit sacrilegious here, going, "Yeah, look we could build all these giant temples to money." It's like, yeah, it's not a good thing.
We should rather build giant statues of Lenin and Stalin again.
Oh my God! Yeah. How dare we make
with
stuff?
Giant communist red stars in front of projects.
How dare
housing projects?
Engineers get hired to build buildings that people want to use for their enterprise.
She's sure talking big about this, even though she lives in LA. Fucking hypocrite.
The thing that I like is the fact that if someone told her they're going to build a 600-foot statue of her, she'd be like, "Yes, do it. Do it right now.
Do it for George Floyd."
Yeah.
Put cat ears on it.
All right.
But the statue is gonna have the horrible makeup as well.
From Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead.
The creator lives for his work.
Why
says Rourke.
Why is she quoting Ayn? What are you doing?
No, it's not just the wrong book, it's the wrong author.
The Faces of Joseph Campbell by Brendan Gill. Okay, 1989. Fair enough. All right. Here we go.
He needs no other men. His primary goal is within himself. The man who attempts to live for others is a parasite in motive and makes parasites of those he serves. 2 years before The Fountainhead was published, young Campbell was saying at Sarah Lawrence, the artist, insofar as he is an artist, looks at the world dispassionately, without thought of defending his ego or his friends, without thought of undoing an enemy, troubling neither with desire nor loathing.
Ah, yes. Ayn Rand.
What the hell did that mean?
That sounds like a good, decent ideal.
Yeah, but what does that have anything to do with what we're talking about?
How does Ayn Rand relate to this in any way?
She doesn't. She has. Keep saying this. Maggie, Preston Jacobs, Just Right, Patrick Willems, Lindsay Ellis. They all have apophenia.
Mm-hmm.
All have apophenia.
What's that again? What is it? I forgot.
Apophenia is the mental disorder in which you associate connections, where you make supposedly meaningful connections out of things that are not actually meaningful.
It's related to schizoid delusions.
I just say they're women.
Yes.
Well, actually, weirdly enough, the first time I ever heard somebody use the term apophenia was actually a guy.
Oh,
so Patrick Willems is a woman?
He thinks like a woman.
Yes. Yeah. He has a woman's mind. Yes.
That's good.
Along with women's hands and women's feet. So
he is clearly a softie who has barely worked anything beyond a typewriter in his whole life.
Yeah.
I think a typewriter would help him because he's forced to not make mistakes unless he has those, typewriters that remove ink. But oh boy, the ultimate pick-me girl. What are you talking about? Like, where are we going? Anyway, 3 minutes left. Amazing. I'm so happy. We only have 3 minutes left.
Yeah, we're almost done.
I know.
Rand, the ultimate pick-me girl. The final boss of girl bosses.
Before you can do things for people, you must be the kind of man who can get things done. But to get things done, you must love the doing, not the people.
In everything that Campbell does, he claims that a small, certain archetype, that of the brooding, unfeeling, stoic man, is the everyman. Everywhere he looks, he sees himself and...
No, Maggie, no. First off, the stoic man is not an unfeeling man. It's just someone who's in control of his emotions and doesn't just let him be overwhelmed by them, so he can't act anymore in times of crisis or when he needs to sort out something complex.
Right.
Or make a plan something that you fail at consistently, Maggie.
Stoicism is a discipline, and you do not want anyone who doesn't have mental or emotional control to be in charge of anything, because chaos would continue.
Because then you have Maggie Mae Fish.
Yeah, imagine Maggie Mae Fish being your prime minister.
Or in control of anything.
Right, it's like, I don't even think she's in control of her own YouTube channel.
Remember the previous video was just a pile of, like a 10-minute pile of crap. Like, we just sat there like, what is this?
Oh, was that the one about the Quentin Tarantino foot fetish?
Yes, that's the one.
And it was literally just her being a fucking idiot for 10 minutes.
It was
just an endless attempt at an endless skit.
She was calling up hell or someone, and there was all this nonsense going
Right,
on.
there was that guy who clearly wanted to kill himself, but was like dragged in to do this skit.
He was this gay man from hell. It was like, what the hell is going on? And it was just 10 minutes of nothing, and you're like, okay, Maggie, you are out of it.
I think you might be right, Smud. I do think she's run out of topics to talk about.
Like, we've had better videos where she attacked like T.S. Eliot and referenced T.S. Eliot and exactly what he said, and said, well, he's a fascist. Like, that's stupid, but fine. At least you point in the right direction. This is like, here's a film from Ayn Rand. You're like, what does that have anything to do with Joseph Campbell?
Yeah,
she's in the extrapolation phase. And she is quoting him directly from the show, not from the book. And probably out of context, probably cut out of context.
She's not. The whole thing about the hero's journey has like gone out the window within the first 5 minutes of this video. This was never about the hero's journey. This was about how can she attack Joseph Campbell.
Yeah, and now she's bringing up Ayn Rand. Didn't even bring up objectivism yet, what it means, how it came about, why it's relevant, why it was controversial.
Yeah.
No. And also, let's put this way, she's also brought up Donald Trump twice in a video from 2022.
Yeah.
What?
Because Chicago has a Trump tower. That's great.
Yeah. And she lives in LA. So either her eyesight's really fucking good to see the Chicago skyline, or, she's just, talking a lot of bullshit.
Okay, anyway. The Fountainhead, here we go.
Where he doesn't see a hero. Here's Brian Atterbury again.
The problem with Campbell's monomyth as an analytical tool is that it always works because it simplifies every story to the point where nothing but the monomyth is left.
That's the
It
point.
ignores the many mythic stories that do not have questing heroes, and it leaves out the culturally defined values and symbols that make each tradition
Wait a second.
That's the point of finding
How to miss the entire point of the monomyth.
It's the point of the lowest common denominator is that you get the plainest mechanics that work out regardless of the details. You, Mr. Atterbury, are obsessed, Brian. You are obsessed with all the details. Okay, do something with that.
No, Wisp, it's not that. This guy, this Brian guy, I'm not going to call him or whatever, this idiot is one of these fake fucking intellectuals who doesn't like it when people simplify stuff down for the common person, because these sort of ideas shouldn't belong to the common person. Do you know what I mean?
The other thing is that, like Tolkien, in a different way, Campbell is a giant of literature. That the left, the culture destroyers of communism need to tear down, so that they can operate their bullshit ideology. Because what does the communist regime despise? Someone who speaks up. What does the hero's journey produce at the end?
Who speaks up, yeah.
I seem to recall.
There you go.
Well, if you guys ever do pick up Hero of a Thousand Faces, or Here with a Thousand Faces, he goes through so many stories, and not all of them follow his pattern. Like, for example, Scheherazade, the Arabian Nights. And he references that many times. That's just a story of stories. And those could have other stories in there, but the frame narrative is just a girl who doesn't want to die. So she just tells stories. And that's fine. She has elaborate stories. Sometimes she has simple stories. And that has nothing to do with like what the monomyth specifically, unless you're talking about outside the frame, which you could. But there's so much stuff in there that you'd learn something just by reading any anthology book.
And there are lots of stories, especially very, very old ones, that skip steps or do them in different orders.
Yeah, so there's
because just the writing wasn't refined, or it was just orally passed on.
Yeah, and Campbell doesn't miss that. He doesn't mess it up. He doesn't go, oh yeah, here's this thing, and it happened 1,500 years ago, whatever. It's like, no, he talks about it. They're short stories. They're easy to read and talk about.
Yeah. I mean, the Epic of Gilgamesh is full of this.
But this from what this Brian guy is saying is literally, he knows that the hero's journey is about simplifying it down, and he doesn't like that because he wants it to be complicated so that people can't understand it.
If he thinks reading The Hero with a Thousand Faces is simple or is reductive, he is out of his mind.
Yeah, I know.
I'd say in that is, and I don't like to say this because it's usually just used as an insult. But if that is his opinion, then I would say he is not intelligent enough to understand the book.
That's fair. That's fair because I'm not intelligent enough to understand the book. There's so many references in there. I'm like, wow, this is so well thought out and referenced that I have no idea what I'm learning about. And you really do need to take a course with this book for one semester, and you probably wouldn't get through half of it just because it's so dense. So, but this happens all the time, not just with Campbell, but like Aristotle. Go back as far as you want. There's lots of people, even professors, who just don't get some old white dead guy who is way smarter than they were. And it's like, yeah, you're not as smart as Kant. No one is. He's a genius. And I can't figure out exactly what he's saying. But after years of study, I might get a little nugget that makes perfect sense. So for having professors say stuff, it's like, yeah, where are you coming from, buddy? And what's your degree?
This sounds like this guy is just jealous of Campbell.
Maybe.
Yes.
And he wants to be Campbell. I mean, come on. He wrote this book, and like I said yesterday, it's £110 on Amazon. That's like, all right then.
Or just buy the Hero with a Thousand Faces for $20 or whatever.
Yeah, or even less, because like you can get it for free on PDF. Because like one of the universities, like you just type in like Hero with a Thousand Faces PDF, and you get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, somebody last time mentioned Neil Gaiman in regards to the book.
Oh boy.
I don't remember exactly what was said, but the thing that I had heard, a friend who first told me about Hero with a Thousand Faces, told me about it with because I was writing at the time, and talked a lot about the short stories that Neil Gaiman wrote, of which some are really, really, really good. Fragile Things is a book I can recommend. It's a very nice short story book. That's why he mentioned that Neil Gaiman was supposed to have said in an interview. I haven't checked for that. It's just what my friend told me back then. That Neil Gaiman, when he heard of the book for the first time, said he was scared to ever read it because he feared he might not ever be able to write a story again, for the fear of the realization that all stories have already been told.
Oh yeah.
Because he tries to tell new stories, and once you know what all the basic stories are, you will feel blocked. Like how do I do something that's not that?
Yeah, this is the funny thing why there is a bingo card of Haruki Murakami, because all his stories are pretty much the same story over and over, but in different order. Gaiman's the same way.
Also Hermann Hesse.
Yeah, Gaiman's the same way, but you don't pay attention because every story has like, oh, we're going to do the Norse gods here. Now we're going to do the Chinese gods. But if you follow the main character in the third chapter, even Gaiman made a joke about this, where he found out in the third chapter there's going to be a scene at a bar with one of the female interests, and there's going to be a pass made, and they're not going to hook up. And it happens in a few of his stories. And once he noticed that, he got really pissed off. And he stopped.
Yeah, because he probably didn't intend to do that. It's just a thing that
exactly
wasn't naturally happening.
It's a pattern that he just kept or subconsciously writing about because he thought that was good. That's what you do at bars. You make passes at women and you fail because that's life, I guess. I don't know. And then he realized that, oh my God, I did that 3 times over. Shit, I got to stop.
Oh no, I'm a hack. Oh no,
yeah,
I
exactly.
need to write something else.
Exactly. So these books, like when I wrote my book about how to write, I was looking at patterns too, and I'm like, well, this is not the most accurate thing in the world, but you still need these elements for people to attach their minds to it and go, ooh, I like this character. And there's reasons why I listed that, but you could have completely different reasons why you like Batman, and they're opposite. Like, I like Batman because he has a sense of justice, and you're like, no, I like Batman because he breaks the rules of justice, beats people up, and he's cool. I'm like, oh, okay, but we both like Batman for different reasons. It's that attraction that makes us want to keep learning and following what Batman does. And then you add on top all the superficial stuff like the cool car and the cool cape and jumping from buildings and stuff like that. So we could have totally different reasons, but they're all in one big bucket of liking something. And there's patterns about being an anti-hero and a normal hero and a paladin character and a trickster character and all these other Jungian archetypes. There's nothing wrong with listing them and labeling them. And writers don't like that sometimes because it realizes like, oh geez, I'm not original. This has been done before. And that's Gaiman. Yeah. Gaiman is one of the most influential writers of our generation. So anyway, oh my God, we're almost 2 minutes done. Holy shit.
And then let's this stuff get butchered on the screen.
Oh God, I was about to do it. He did the 20-minute trailer. He took apart the trailer and he tries to justify all the gender and race swaps. And it's so sad. I'm just like, Gaiman, just shut up. Just don't shut up.
This is your work, man. Why are you fine with people just fan fictioning all over it?
It's so sad. It's like Death is a black woman. The librarian is a black woman. What's his name? Constantine is Lady Constantine from 200 years ago for some reason. You're like, what is happening? Why is Gwendolyn Christie playing the devil? I don't get it. Like, anyway.
Unique. Well, let's see. We covered machines, skyscrapers, computers. What was that other thing that he was obsessed with? Oh, that's right.
Oh, no.
Everyone's being too hard on the Nazis.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you heard that right. Okay, I'm gonna need an intermission to throw up all of those marshmallows that I ate.
Maggie.
Is this the video?
We don't know yet. I want a citation for that.
Hopefully.
One thing that I love about making videos online
Maggie.
is exploring different types of narratives.
She's accusing
Maggie.
a guy about what exactly with the Nazis?
You can't just accuse people of Nazi relativism but without fucking receipts.
Wow, thanks, Maggie. That was really professional of you.
Hold on.
Are you searching up Nazi Joseph Campbell?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a look now.
Yeah.
Hang on. Why was he accused of it?
Like anti-Semitism or something?
Yeah. Hang on, let me just have a look. Nope, nothing here. No quotes by it. Nothing at all. Let's have a look. References. Criticisms. Nothing. Nothing here. He's been accused of anti-Semitism by some authors.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And that means that he's Nazi?
No, he was accused by Brendan Gill because well, nothing actually. Actually, it was all slander, and he was done for libel.
Oh.
So Maggie's making up.
Oh,
outrage.
also, the Telegraph said there was fascist undercurrents in Campbell's work.
Of course.
Because it was used on Star Wars with the Empire.
Oh, God.
What?
Oh my god.
That sounds just as dumb as like, okay, this is like gonna be like a very big tangent, but like I was reading about a stupid dub about Fist of the North Star because it had the French dub, and the voice actor was accusing that it has Nazi imagery in it, and I was like, what the fuck? There's not a single swastika in the entire show. And then the guy didn't back it up, but like the entire like voice cast said like it has right-wing values, so we're not gonna translate it how it is, and we're gonna make a parody of it.
Wow.
It's just like wow.
Wait, hang on. What's it? There's this one article from JS Tour which says why Joseph Campbell's psychologizing of myth precludes the Holocaust as touchstone of reality.
What?
Okay.
From 1998.
Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Of course.
Oh,
People are
but
just desperately trying to
here's an interesting thing.
defame.
The journalist this article was published by the Oxford University Press.
Oh, the
That's
same.
interesting.
Yeah.
Ones who do not Brett. So I have a feeling that the Oxford University Press don't like Joseph Campbell.
I think that I get a feeling that the Oxford University Press is full of communists who want to tear down everyone who's not a communist and make stuff that makes people less likely to be communists.
Oh,
Can we
also,
do the same with Maggie?
all these accusations came after Joseph Campbell died. By the way,
So he couldn't defend himself anymore.
yeah.
Well, what a cowardly move.
Oh, by the way, they're even saying that even in death, Joseph Campbell absolutely owned his people who were going against him because it was all just lies. Well, okay. Well done, Maggie. You just okay.
So she's just perpetuating the slander, the demonization, just like the communists kept
yeah, because Joseph Campbell
demonization of
died.
Walt Disney going.
Yeah, he died in 1987.
But the PBS thing is from 1988.
Yeah, so they released it after his death. He was 83 years old. Yeah.
Huh.
Bloody hell.
All right. Well, that was.
I mean, I'm looking at all these, like what he says about his influences are. He doesn't sound very right wing.
Yeah, no. If Maggie found some evidence or a picture or a quote, she would have used it. There's no way she would have held back.
Look, she has 2 minutes.
If it helps her argument, that's when she would use it.
She has 2 minutes, of which 90 seconds she will waste on a stupid, non-funny skit.
Yeah, but she's just made up calling a guy a Nazi because she's literally resorted to going, well, I've lost. He was a Nazi, didn't know.
Yeah, and then quickly moved on to probably next topic. So let's see what she has to say.
All right.
Narratives, different voices, and different styles. And the best place that I found to do that is my streaming platform, Nebula.
Oh,
what? It's an ad.
That's it.
Maggie, you had one job.
That's it. Video games.
What the fuck? You literally
2 minutes of ads?
You literally
Seriously?
by the way, he's a Nazi, don't you know?
Anyway, buy this product.
Anyway, buy my product because I'm so against capitalism. Give me money.
What? Where are you jumping to?
I try to get her face. Holy hell.
You think that's cute?
No, that is not cute.
That doesn't look like a young boy.
That looks like a glam rock band from the late 70s. gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, yeah. She looks like a transvestite.
Yeah, she looks like a man. Exactly. Yeah. Holy hell!
What? What
Anyway.
a terrible fucking video. That had nothing to do with anything.
So
It
Joseph,
was literally the ramblings of an insane patient. You know.
so anyway, Joseph Campbell's a Nazi. Bye. What?
Yeah.
Evidence?
Video.
Oh, I don't need evidence, honey. I'm Maggie Mae Fish. Aren't I such a nice person? Fucking horrible, horrible woman.
A friendly reminder of what Smudboy said on July. Let's not play that.
In fact, let's pretend this never happened.
Warning: federal law provides. That's good. Smud would be like, "You're becoming hysterical." No. You are hysterical. You are the woman.
Yeah.
Oh no! Why is Marx wearing a fedora? What's going on here? A daring and original piece of work in which Marx set out to show that theology must yield to the superior wisdom of philosophy? What? That was figured out thousands of years ago, Marx. What are you talking about? Theology and philosophy were disconnected a long time ago. What are you on about? While at school, he was imprisoned for drunkenness, run out of Prussia in 1842, expelled from France in 1845, rejected from Belgium. Marx and his family lived in abject poverty, failing to pay rent, pawn his pants to buy food. Engels frequently sent Marx money. Okay, a former Prussian military commander challenged Marx to a duel, and Marx refused. He died broke, and just 11 people attended his funeral. Oh my God. Okay, Karl Marx, everyone, fantastic, great guy. When Maggie tells me not to write a superhero story, no, I'm going to write them anyway because I'm passionate about it. Plus, I have this cookie for Dunn if he helps me improve my writing. Oh, thanks, Dunn.
Good.
Can Mormons eat cookies?
Of course we can.
What the hell am I looking at? White people, white people.
White people.
White people, white guilt.
Guilt.
Is that white milk? But apparently it's I am so confused.
Aren't we all?
Maggie Mae Fish, actor. Yes, exactly. She is an actor. Everything she says is false. Maggie Mae Fish with no makeup. Well, all right. Let's play hide and seek. I hide and you seek Satriac.
That's the winner.
That's awesome. That should be the thumbnail. That's perfect.
Yes.
Son, look out. He's an enemy stand user. What?
What?
He's got a...
Oh, because his that other frame behind it, the kid. It could be the stand.
Okay. I guess.
All right.
Jojo, funny meme.
Ow, me balls are burning. Gra, the pain.
Okay.
What is this? On DVD and video, Boner 9001. What the hell? Garfield.
Okay.
Thank you. Whoever posted that.
I don't know anymore.
That was weird. Oh my God. Your Honor, my client was clearly in goblin mode.
All of these are from Francis.
Oh. Thanks, Francis.
This entire line of them are from Francis.
Oh, these are good though.
Okay, the you missed the point by idolizing them starter pack. I didn't miss the point. I know those characters are horrible human beings. I aim to be as despicable as them.
Damn it.
Oh. Okay. And she called the police, but doesn't she have ACAB in her bio? ACAB, BLM, defund the police. Her bio has the works, Jerry.
Yeah. That's about right.
That is a pattern outside of the current year. So I think that was before Seinfeld, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Woke women ruin everything. No.
Yeah. Women.
I think we could reduce
Just
that.
women.
Oh, well, Mark, yeah, you would say women. I would just say woke.
No, just women have always been the same. It's just the fact that we've now decided to add woke because there's a couple of men with them.
Oh. All right, Germany's unforgivable crime before the Second World War was her attempt to extricate her economic power from the world's trading system and to create her own exchange mechanism which would deny world finance its opportunity to profit. Churchill to Boothby quoted in the foreword of Propaganda in the Next War 2001, originally 1938. Well,
Right, okay.
That's
nice.
That's from a drunk man who led everyone through the war. So.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know some of the world's most innovative dance comes from Israel? Google dancing Israelis to find out more.
I can attest to this. This is actually true.
No. No. Do not Google it.
We're good.
Yeah, don't Google. It's true, but don't Google it.
Republicans can't stop a reproductive rights ship in international waters. If you need services, Google USS Liberty.
Don't Google that either.
Don't Google that either.
What is happening with these memes? It's like the Google memes.
Well, I think it's because since Maggie talks utter bullshit.
All right, this is a 134 kilobyte clip from
We're better off Googling bullshit than
from Elfather. So Maggie distorting what Campbell said, lol. Here we go.
Source! My source is I made it the fuck up.
I think that's the guy that does Senator Armstrong in Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah, you got it.
Someone actually got him to say the line. Oh God.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Someone show this to Bears then.
Here is maybe there's a reason for that from Whisp in context of Mormons getting chased out of 3 states, Jews getting expelled 1,366 times from European cities from 1100 to 1800. Okay. Mostly false.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Riddler, what?
Yeah, there's a monument in the town, the city of York, about when in 1193 the English burnt a castle down that was full of Jews.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, and then that was the last time Jews were in the country until they came back over in the 20th century.
Neat.
Yeah. We went for a school trip.
Here's that wonderful meme, why women deserve less.
Yep.
Oh, boy, here we go. Skeletor.
Just like a woman.
What is... I can barely read that. Knife?
Nice argument.
Senator. But why don't you thwack it up with a torth?
Oh. My source. I said my source is that I fabricated the whole thing and made it up. That is.
Oh, man. The one.
I did not actually have sexual relations with that woman.
I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Woman is talking. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, crank it down. Here's another wonderful video meme thing.
Women.
Directly from the pot.
That was it. That was the whole clip.
That was the clip. Yeah, it's like, oh, women. Yeah. Coffee.
This is like a meme we have almost every other Smudcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time I see this one.
There is the 70s rock band Maggie Mae look.
Mm-hmm.
Tofu guy when Fish calls Joseph Campbell a Nazi. Okay, I'll play that later. Why are women evacuated first in a disaster so men can think of a solution in silence?
Yep.
Oh, it's from the same person too. What the hell?
Oh boy. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just thinking about it really well. It's like, probably, yeah. Oh no, who we got here? You cannot give a woman everything she needs. If God himself gave them eyebrows, they'd shave it and draw their own. God gave them nails, they cut it off and fix their own. God gave them hair, they cut it off and fix their own. He gave them breasts, they repackage it to what they want. God still gave them buttocks. They arrange it to the size they want. If even God can't satisfy them, then who are you to think that you can please them? My brother, don't kill yourself.
Good old Mugabe.
There you go.
You know he was from Yorkshire. You know.
Really?
Yeah, he buy gum. I had it done. That's never mind. It's a joke.
He's from the Shire.
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire, yeah.
We had
That's where the hobbits are from.
We had this one yesterday too, I think, as well. By the power of White Girl, I am offended on your behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
This is still a good one, yeah.
Still good, yeah.
Oh, it's still good. It's not great, but it's good.
Yeah.
I saw it 5.
That was less than 2 hours of the last half of a Maggie Mae Fish video that was not the worst she's done, but one of the most...
No, that was...
No, it was incoherent because every sentence did not make any connection properly, whereas her other videos, like, if you think the interpretation of a dream sequence in RoboCop is a trans allegory, like that is like, wow, that's out there. With this, she just quoted random shit outside of the book she should have been referencing, and she ends on, "He's a Nazi," and you're like, what? So.
Because somebody once accused him of it.
Ugh. Ridiculous. All right. Well, that was what we do here on the Smudcast. We take apart dumb videos, and thanks for Dunn to... I don't know how you picked up on that so quickly. She just made it like last week, so...
Oh, geez, I wonder.
Yeah.
A guy on my Discord
is even more obsessed with Maggie Mae Fish than you. Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Either way, thank you, Dunn. That was good. We're gonna take probably a break from Maggie Mae unless she has another amazing video.
At least a month.
Yeah, it's gonna take at least 30, 60 days. We're not sure.
Even if she comes out with another video tomorrow.
Oh no.
Yeah, this was weird. But hey, I enjoyed going through it because it was so wacky and ridiculous, and you guys had good commentary, so I do appreciate that.
Bringing up
That's
Roe
a
v.
fun
Wade
topic as well, I have to say.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad topic, yeah.
Right.
Well,
this feels like I could make a video off it because it's so quintessential Maggie Mae. Just like, here's a dumb thing she said, and she keeps rolling with it, connects to another unrelated topic, and then she accuses him of Nazism. It's just like, okay.
And then
that was good though. Well, not good, but it was just such a cowardly little thing that she did.
Right.
To say, "Oh, he's a Nazi," and then it's just a bit like, "Well, why is he a Nazi?" Well, because I said so. It's like,
yeah, compared to other videos she made of other people where she accused people in fight clubs of being fascists, or a famous poet of being or being a Nazi, and you're just like, wow, that is not right at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys. Thanks so much for paying attention and listening to us and having a great weekend. It's a nice long weekend here in North America. I think it's the civic holiday. I don't even know the name of it on Monday, but
Infamous holiday. Oh God.
Yeah.
You're all right.
What's that holiday, is it?
I don't know. It's not in Quebec. They don't recognize Monday as a holiday, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe the French didn't like it.
Monday as a holiday? What?
Yeah.
French don't like
Canada.
anything.
Weird times. I don't know. Yeah, I have to go research. There's all these dumb holidays. I don't understand what they mean, what their names are. So
it's Trudeau Day.
We need a holiday from Trudeau.
I only care about holidays if they give them to me off from work.
Exactly. So maybe it's just a Canadian thing, but I got a long weekend. So hey, cool. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a great evening and stay cool.
Night.
Have a great day.
Take care.